In the heart of a bustling city that never slept, lived a young man named Alex. At 28, he had a steady job as a graphic designer, a cozy apartment overlooking the skyline, and a circle of friends who admired his creativity. From the outside, his life seemed perfectly put together. But inside Alex's mind, it was a different story, a chaotic whirlwind of thoughts that spun endlessly, like a hamster wheel with no off switch. It started small, as these things often do. Alex would lie awake at night, replaying conversations from the day. Did I say the right thing in that meeting? What if my boss thinks I'm incompetent? What if I get fired and end up homeless? One worry led to another, branching out like roots digging deeper into his psyche. By morning, he'd be exhausted, his eyes heavy with the weight of unspoken fears. Overthinking wasn't new to Alex. It had been his unwelcome companion since college. Back then, it manifested as endless revisions on assignments, second-guessing every stroke of his pencil until deadlines loomed like storm clouds. Now, in his professional life, it paralyzed him. A simple email from a client could trigger hours of analysis. Why did they use that tone? Are they unhappy with my work? Should I rewrite the entire proposal? He'd stare at his computer screen, cursor blinking mockingly, while the clock ticked away precious time. His personal life suffered too. Alex had been dating Mia for 6 months, a kind, adventurous woman who worked as a teacher and loved spontaneous weekend trips. But even their relationship became fodder for his mental mill. What if she's losing interest? Am I too boring for her? One evening, after Mia casually mentioned wanting to try skydiving, Alex spent the night imagining every possible disaster: plane crashes, parachute failures, her regretting being with someone too cautious. The next day, he bailed on the idea, citing work stress. But really, it was the fear that held him back. Friends noticed the change. At gatherings, Alex would zone out, his mind elsewhere. Earth to Alex. His best friend Jordan would joke, clapping him on the back. You're thinking too much again, man. Alex would force a smile, but inside, the thoughts raged on. Do they think I'm weird? Am I a bad friend for not being more present? The cycle fed itself, turning social outings into sources of anxiety rather than joy. The breaking point came on a rainy Tuesday. Alex had a big presentation at work, a pitch for a major client that could lead to a promotion. He'd prepared meticulously, but as the day approached, the overthinking intensified. What if I forget my lines? What if the slides glitch? What if they hate the design and fire the whole team because of me? He barely slept, his mind a battlefield of worst-case scenarios. By morning, he was a wreck, heart pounding, palms sweaty. In the conference room, as he started speaking, his voice cracked, the words jumbled, and he froze. The client nodded politely, but Alex knew he'd blown it. Driving home, tears blurred his vision. Why can't I just stop this? Why am I like this? Alex hit rock bottom. He scrolled through his phone, searching for answers. Articles popped up. Signs of overthinking, how rumination ruins lives. One quote stuck with him. Overthinking is the art of creating problems that weren't even there. It resonated deeply. For the first time, he admitted he needed help, not just to survive, but to thrive. The next day, Alex made a call to a therapist recommended by a friend. Dr. Elena was a no-nonsense woman in her 50s, with a warm smile. Office filled with plants that symbolized growth. In their first session, she listened as Alex poured out his story. Dr. Elena nodded. Overthinking is common, Alex. It's your brain's way of trying to control the uncontrollable. But we can rewire it. She introduced him to cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, techniques. Starting with awareness. First, notice when you're spiraling. Label it. This is overthinking. Don't judge, just observe. Alex started small. He kept a journal by his bed, jotting down thoughts as they came. At first, it felt silly, but patterns emerged. Most worries were about the future or past, rarely the present. Dr. Elena taught him to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? What's the evidence? Turn what if I fail into what can I learn? He also learned about mindfulness. Downloading an app, Alex began with 5-minute meditations. Sitting on his balcony, he'd focus on his breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Thoughts intruded, but he let them pass like clouds. You're not your thoughts, Dr. Elena reminded him. You're the sky behind them. Physical changes helped too. Alex joined a gym, discovering that a run could silence the mental noise better than any distraction. Endorphins became his ally, turning sweat into clarity. He set boundaries with work. No emails after 7 p.m., and with social media, which fueled his comparisons. Limit the input, Dr. Elena advised, to quiet the output. Mia noticed the shift. One weekend, when she suggested a hike, Alex agreed without hesitation. As they climbed the trail, he shared his struggles. I've been overthinking us too. Mia squeezed his hand. I know, but you're here now. That's what matters. Talking it out lifted a weight he didn't realize he carried. Progress wasn't linear. There were setbacks. A tough week at work triggered old habits. But Alex had tools now. Worry timer. 15 minutes to vent, then move on. Or he'd call Jordan, externalizing the thoughts until they shrank. Months passed. The promotion came, not from perfection, but from consistent effort. Alex pitched ideas with confidence, his designs sharper without the fog of doubt. With Mia, they planned a trip to the mountains, skydiving included. As the plane ascended, his heart raced, but he breathed through it. Jumping out, the world rushed by in a blur of freedom. For the first time, he felt truly present, the wind drowning out any lingering whispers. Back home, Alex looked out his window at the city lights. The thoughts still came sometimes, but they no longer controlled him. He'd learned that overthinking was a habit, not a destiny. By facing it head-on, with therapy, mindfulness, action, and support, he'd broken free. Life wasn't about avoiding storms. It was about dancing in the rain, one step at a time. And in that realization, Alex found peace, not in silence, but in the gentle hum of a mind at rest.